Good evening, and welcome to the December 19, 2024 meeting of the Foxborough Board of Appeals. This meeting, including the public hearing that we will conduct, is being broadcast and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access. The time being 7 p.m., Dan Brown seeks a special permit and finding pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 275 zoning, Section 5.4.2, to allow a pre-existing, non-conforming, single-family residential structure to be reconstructed such that the habitable floor area of the new single-family residential structure will exceed that of the existing structure by 25% or more, and any such other zoning relief, if any, as the board may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Property is located at 4 Lakeview Road in the R40 Residential and Agricultural District, and is not located in any restrictive overlay district. Mr. Brown?
Yes, how you doing?
Good. You can hear us? We can hear you. Can you just introduce yourself?
Yes, how you doing? Dan Brown with High End Homes. How are you?
Okay, and Mr. Locke is the owner of the property and is here.
Yes, awesome.
Okay,
Hey,
so before you begin, we have a board of 5 individuals.
okay.
3 of us, Kurt, Lorraine, and myself, are the regular members. Eric and Blair are associate members. We all participate, but only the 3 regular members, Kurt, Lorraine, and myself, are the voting members. And in order
Okay.
to approve the application, all 3 of us must vote in favor. So in other words, our decision must be unanimous.
Okay.
Okay, do you have any questions? If not, I'll just let you start and tell us what you're planning.
I really don't. I don't have too many questions. It's just the first time building in the town. I've been building for several years, but just gonna basically try to take down the existing house that is there and build a single-story home in its place. Obviously increasing the habitable space by quite a bit, but we are going to try to keep the house in a similar location as to what the existing house is as much as we can.
So you've indicated that the existing house is non-conforming. What is your impression as to why it is?
I think the existing house is conforming. I believe the lot is a non-conforming lot by frontage.
There's a frontage, right?
Yeah. Now, the lot actually conforms because it's more than 40,000 square feet in acreage. I would say that we have a non-conforming structure for 2 reasons. Number one is the frontage, which is indicated on the proposed plot plan as 111.27, and we require 200 square feet frontage in the R40 district. The second, and obviously I can't tell the distance, but the bylaw requires a width of 134 feet for the lot, 100 feet from the street. So I don't know exactly where 100 feet from the street is, but it's certainly somewhat less than where the house is. And
Yes.
again, I can't tell what the width of the lot is, but if the frontage is 111 feet, the lot seems to be less than that. So it certainly wouldn't be 134 feet. So from my perspective, that's why the structure itself is non-conforming. And I'll let my
Okay.
colleagues weigh in if they feel any differently or agree or have any questions on that.
Where are you seeing that from?
So here's the frontage.
Right.
It's 111. So 100 feet from the street, the lot width has to be 134 feet. So
Oh,
figure
okay.
100 feet would be someplace
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it'd be less than 134 feet.
thank you.
Okay. Are you intending to completely demolish the existing house?
Correct, yes.
And the new house, as I can tell from the proposed plan, is not going to be on the same footprint?
We're hugging a little bit of the corner, but it is going to, it is considerably larger, so we will obviously be excavating more land than the existing house.
And I just want to confirm that the new house would be, and I'll explain why a little bit later, the new house will be 20 feet from the Smith property? Is that correct, as shown on the proposed plan?
Correct. Yep, to the back right corner of the property.
And that would be the closest point?
That is the closest point, yes.
Okay. Questions? Go ahead.
Really, I think that's really what I was just looking at, was the side here. So I don't see any issue with the layout of the house. I don't think I have any questions at this time.
Barney, were you saying that the lot is non-conforming or the house on
No,
the lot?
the lot conforms,
Okay.
other than the fact it doesn't have the appropriate frontage
Yeah.
and the width, but that makes the house non-conforming,
I
the
see.
structure
Okay,
non-conforming.
got it, okay.
But it conforms as far as being well in excess of 40,000 square
Right,
feet.
yeah, okay.
Eric, any questions?
The proposed building says 3871 for square footage, correct? That's the proposed size of the new house?
Back in here. That is probably including, yes, that is including if you were to finish the basement space, which which he is not finishing the basement space, but
Does that include the garages, or is that
it
excluded?
does not. It's 1,900, approximately like 1,900 square feet on the first floor without the garage space.
It's 1901, I believe, is the,
And the current plan doesn't call for a finished basement, is that what you said?
yeah.
It does not, no.
The existing house, are you living in the house now?
No.
Are you not? Okay. Is it occupied, the house currently, or?
It is not. I just purchased the property a month and a half ago.
Okay.
I think the prior owner is deceased. right?
Yes.
You probably purchased from the estate?
Yeah, I purchased from the son. The son was the power of attorney, so one of the sons.
Blair, any questions?
The only question, have there been any interactions with the butters, any opposition to what you have planned?
I talked to it's probably the Smith family, which is right, I think, right at the street there. Very friendly, outgoing, and very accepting with kind of what I've been planning. So that's the only person I've met so far, but they were incredibly nice and friendly and, whatever, kind of the nice, friendly neighbor, whatever you need, whatever I need. We very much kind of clicked and got along, just really nice people. And he kind of gave me the rundown of all the neighbors, and sounds like an amazing little neighborhood. Everybody
Know where the
seems
bodies
to
are
be-
all buried, right?
That's right, exactly.
And you're planning on living in the house after it's constructed? Are you planning on?
Absolutely, yes.
I want to follow up on Eric's question. The 3,871 square feet, is that the gross area or is that habitable?
That would be habitable if you finish out the basement space.
So what would once you construct the house, and again, you indicated that it's not going to be finished, the basement won't be finished.
Correct.
Garage is not considered habitable space, so if you just take the bedrooms, living room, den,
It's
kitchen,
19.
what would the
1901.
1901,
1901?
yeah.
1901, yep.
So again, the 3871 would be the
Garage and
the
the basement.
gross,
Yeah.
the gross
I think,
area.
yeah, I think correct, yes.
Okay. And the current house,
I believe it's 1,400.
yeah, that would, again, would be gross. The assessor's office lists it as $972, so.
Really? Wow, I thought,
As far as living, they call it living area, but it's
Gotcha.
comparable. So you're going from 972 to 1901, so it's certainly well more than 25%. Okay. Go ahead.
Is there a plan, it looks like there's a decent amount of trees surrounding the property. Is there any plan to take any trees down?
We don't have any plan. I believe that the structure falls without us having to remove any.
Okay.
So obviously I will have a better idea once we stake it, on site, but as talking to the surveyor, I did not have any that he brought up that I needed to remove.
And the driveway will stay that same distance away from the property line?
Correct.
Correct.
Sheds are coming down, or they're going to stay up?
Sheds are going to stay.
Sheds will stay.
And that's a circular driveway up at the top where the house is? Is that what?
It is.
Okay. And that's,
It is currently now. I don't know if it's going to necessarily take a circular shape when we tie it into the new house, but it's going to follow that same footprint all the way up to the house and then tie into the garages.
and then won't have any effect on the location of the current septic?
No, not at all. If anything, it might actually get a little bit better. I think we're getting a little bit further away from it.
Thanks.
So the front of the house would actually be facing, again, the circular portion of the driveway, correct?
Correct. Yes. And as you can kind of see on the plot plan right now, the driveway is kind of going into the house, so that's going to come a little bit more left if you're looking at the lot, closer to the main road there.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions?
Just to follow up on Blair's, you've spoken with the Smiths, but no, you haven't heard any other feedback, bless you, from any other neighbors, either of you? No?
There's.
I haven't gotten any calls or any emails from any neighbors yet.
If I could just ask a question?
Could you hold on? And I'll go to you, okay?
Sure.
Scott Shippey? Scott Shippey is our building commissioner. Scott, do you have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay, the gentleman who if you would just let us know who you are and where you live?
Sure, I'm Tim Kennedy. I'm at 6 Alger Road. So we are not abutting the property. And I'm really happy with the fact that it's going to be developed, so no objections here. My only question is, will there be blasting required?
That we won't know until we actually start getting on site.
We were the third or fourth property developed on this street, and there's a lot of ledge, we know. And on a few of the properties after us, there was blasting done without blasting mats, which caused us to sustain damage to our roof. So just want to ask the question, are you ensuring, if you have to blast, that there'll be blasting mats?
Yes, my companies that do all my work do everything by the book, so we'll make sure it's clean and well done.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Scott,
Yes, sir.
in a situation where there is going to be blasting, what's the procedure that building department typically follows?
Well, the blasting portion would probably go through the fire department. So they would have to pull a permit, the blasting permit through the fire department, and they were ensured that it's done properly.
And would they survey the houses in the area to beforehand to determine what foundations look like, or is that not typically done?
I can't speak for the fire department. Usually,
They never.
in my past, I have never seen it done. But I can't speak for the fire department.
Okay.
I can tell you through the planning board, yeah, they would, the fire department requires a pre-blast survey.
Okay.
If I could interject, 30 years ago, the fire department hid behind a major boulder in my yard, and that's when all the rocks rained down on our house. So let's make sure the fire department is on top of this.
Underneath it.
Underneath it, right? Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Any other questions? Again, Mr. Shippey or Mr. Kennedy? Mr. Brown, anything else you want to add?
No, I don't believe so, not at this time.
Okay, Mr. Locke, anything you would like to add?
No, not at this time.
Okay, so why don't we have a motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
Motion to close the public portion of the hearing.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to make clear what the front yard, side yard, and rear yard are, because this is obviously an unusually,
Yeah.
shaped property. So there's no definition in our bylaw for front yard, rear yard, and side yard. It's perhaps something that we should have, but we'll leave that for a future town meeting. Most towns, though, will typically consider the front yard to be the closest, from the street to the closest point of the principal house on the lot. So that would mean that this area to where the circular driveway is the front yard. Rear yard would be here towards the Lowen property. Side yards would be towards the Smith property and then towards the Phelan and Fellini property. So as a consequence, the 20 feet between the proposed house and the Smith property would be, again, it's a side yard, and it would comply with the dimensional requirements. And everything else would comply with dimensional requirements. So again, the only nonconformities we're dealing with are the lot width and the frontage. And again, and I apologize if I may have, misspoke initially. The lot is nonconforming because of those 2 points, but they make the structures themselves to be nonconforming. So what I'd like to do first is just go through the special permit criteria, and then talk about sort of the, I'll just say the dilemma that I have as far as what section we should be operating under. So, again, the bylaw under section 10.4.2 says that when we're considering a request for a special permit, we have to consider 6 different factors. And the first one is community needs served by the proposal. The proposal is really changing an existing single-family home into a new and bigger single-family home. Second, traffic flow and safety, including parking and loading. Traffic's not going to change from one single-family home to another. 3 is adequacy of utilities and other public services. Properties already served by electric, I don't know, is it gas or oil?
It was gas.
It's gas, so there's no change there. Neighborhood character and social structures, again, we're going from single to single. It's going to be a bigger house, or probably a much nicer house. So there's obviously going to be no adverse impact on the neighborhood. 5 is impact on the natural environment, other than the possibility of taking a tree or 2 or 3 or 4 down. There's going to be no adverse, effect. And 6 is potential economic and fiscal impacts to the town, including impact on town services, tax base, and employment. Obviously, it's going to be a bigger house, a nicer house. Tax base is going to be enhanced in that regard. So I think all the criteria, from my perspective, that we require for a special permit is satisfied.
Yeah.
So,
Agree?
any other thoughts in that regard?
No.
So here's my sort of dilemma, and this has nothing to do with any adverse thoughts relative to the special permit, because I do believe that the special permit is warranted. So the filing was under section 5.4.2, which says that when there's an increase in habitable floor area of 25% or more, special permit and a finding is required. Obviously, there is an increase well in excess of 25% here. And we've traditionally treated applications of this nature under 5.4.2. That's our sort of our historical treatment. And I can think of 4, maybe 5 applications in the last 3 or 4 years that we've handled it under 5.4.2 that are roughly comparable to this, where you're demolishing an existing house and reconstructing it with a larger house. However, 5.6 says that any non-conforming structure may be reconstructed after a catastrophe or after demolition in accordance with the following provisions. And Section 5.6.3 says that a special permit from the Board of Appeals is required if the proposed reconstruction would cause the structure to exceed the gross floor area of the original non-conforming structure, which is the case here, or cause the structure to be located other than on the original footprint, which is also the case here. So I guess my question is, does this truly come under 5.4.2, or should it be under 5.6.3? Either way, a special permit is required. From my perspective, and I think everybody agrees, the special permit is warranted.
Yeah, no, I agree that this language is the correct language we should have been using.
We should have been, yeah. We haven't been, but.
Okay.
So I guess the question is, do we want to break precedent? And to be honest with you, I think there's a disconnect in the bylaw provisions. And there should be some revisions
Okay.
to properly connect. But my question again is 5.4.2 the right section? Which is, again, what we've looked at it as in the past, or is 5.6.3?
I think it's 5.6.3, because as soon as you said that, and I underlined reconstruction, extension, or alteration, it's none of those.
Well, this is
A reconstruction,
This is a
right?
reconstruction.
That's
So
true.
it kind of, there's an argument to be made for
That's
Both.
true.
both,
Yeah.
right, so. But it's, if you're looking to find the one that fits more squarely in the situation, yeah, I think maybe 5.6, 0.3,
I have it here.
I had on my, sorry, but
I
thank
would
you.
agree with that.
Thoughts?
Likewise, I think, if you're going to break precedent at some point, if you're going to lean one side or the other, the latter would be where I would go.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about that, where we are?
No, I understand kind of just the lingo and
Yeah.
logistics of kind of like where those two, it seems like they both have warranty.
One question I have, as far as who is financing, whether it's a bank or other financial institution, have they looked at this and said it has to be 5.4.2, or they just said, go ahead and get whatever permits you need?
They did not indicate one way or the other, if it had to be filed under 5.4 or not.
Okay. From their perspective, it's just whatever permits we provide.
Yep,
Scott,
correct.
any thoughts? And I know that you and I have talked about this a little bit.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'm leaning towards the 5.6.3. Yeah, I mean, both are applicable
Yeah.
in a sense. So, I mean, there is some housekeeping that needs to be done in the bylaw.
And I think what I would do in drafting the decision, if we go with 5.6.3, is explain why not 5.4.2, but also indicate that there is an increase in habitable floor area, and we'd probably grant this, the permit under that as well. So
Sure.
we'll cover all bases in that regard.
Great.
So 6.3, 5.6.3?
Yes. Motion.
Well, I got a couple
We have
conditions.
to-
So let me suggest the conditions, and then we can, and this would be to grant a special permit under section 5.6.3. First condition is that the location of the proposed dwelling on the subject property shall be as shown on the proposed plot plan, and shall comply with the front yard, side yard, and rear yard setbacks that are set forth therein in accordance with the board's determination of such properties' front, side, and rear yards. And two, the proposed dwelling shall contain approximately 3,871 square feet of gross floor area, and shall be designed and constructed in accordance with and I'm going to characterize these as the proposed dwelling design plans.
Yes.
Excellent.
Anything else? Motion?
Motion to approve special permit as with conditions.
Okay.
Second?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll draft a decision. Mr. Brown, you've probably done this before, but after we draft it, we'll file it with the town clerk, and there's a 20-day appeal period. And then you'll need to file the decision with the Registry of Deeds before you go for your building permits.
Yep, and which registry are you guys?
Norfolk. So that would be in
Awesome.
Dedham.
Excellent, excellent.
You're
Much better than
located, I
going
think,
to
in Natick.
Cambridge. I usually have to go into Cambridge, so Dedham's better for
No,
me.
that's better.
Yeah, this is in Dedham. It's just in downtown Dedham. It's easy to get to.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, any questions?
No.
Diane, what's your schedule like?
Town hall closes Tuesday at noontime, and I'm out the rest of the week.
Okay, what about the week after?
Week after, Monday, Tuesday, we close New Year's Eve at 4 and off New Year's Day. So I'm here Monday and Thursday,
You'll
Friday.
be in, okay, and hopefully my new computer will be working, then I can draft it by then, so more likely it'll be the
Monday.
Monday or Tuesday after the holiday. You're not going to be in next week
Between
at all
Chris,
then?
no, well, next week I'm here Monday and half of Tuesday.
Okay.
And then out the rest of the week.
And New Year's Day is what, Tuesday? or
New Year's
Wednesday?
Day is on a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And then, and you're open Thursday, Friday?
Thursday, Friday, we're open, yeah.
So I'll probably get it done, filed around the 31st, maybe the 2nd, but it'll be the week after next. Okay? And
Excellent.
you'll hear from Diana when it's been filed with the town clerk.
Thank you very much, appreciate
Okay?
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
So we look forward to you as a neighbor.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited to come down this way, so.
If you have any questions, just let Diana know. She's the boss.
Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Great holiday.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Anything else?
You got the minutes from last month. Barney already gave me a few corrections, so it would be as amended, if anybody else has anything. No.
All right, motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes from November's ZBA meeting?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Scott, anything for us?
Nothing new. Just that, I don't think anything that's coming forward from anybody that I know of yet. It was a very busy week.
Online permitting now.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Online permitting?
We have online permitting, so people could apply online. They're still gonna have to give us paper copies, but they could apply online. All the department, planning, zoning, and conservation are all
Okay.
up and ready.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, hopefully that's constructed in such a way whereas if they omit information, it just won't let them submit or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or
I haven't really worked with it. Scott has, so I don't know. If you hit a point where you don't submit the stuff, does it stop you, or do you have to review it and then tell the person?
The person will have certain criteria that would have to be submitted,
yeah,
and it would not let it go further.
exactly.
It'll
yeah.
just,
So that's good.
it will remain in draft form, and those would be asterisks. Where I'm not familiar with the zoning board portion of this online permitting portal.
We need like a guinea
So
pig to
it's-
try it. We
No,
need
it's
the
really
first
probably
person to
if you don't
try it
fill
and see what
the
happens.
Fields out properly, it won't let you continue or something like
Yeah.
that, you know?
Correct. Correct. But the platform that we have is usually user friendly. I spoke to who is it? Bill? Oh
Casbara?
no,
No. Bill?
he can barely use it. The engineer there.
Oh, Buckley.
I'm having-
Bill Buckley?
Buckley, yes. He is, yes, thank you. He actually loves the system. So I actually sat down with him for about a good 45 minutes going over the pros and cons, and there was more pros than cons. I think the only issue he had is that they have to send because the fee is paid by the applicant and not, by the owner, not the applicant. And that's the only issue that he could see forthcoming. But that's minor.
Okay.
So you may not even see somebody who's applied. They may just send something in without even having sat down with you.
Oh, I doubt that.
Okay.
I doubt that highly.
Okay.
I still feel that people will come in or either conversate with me on what their proposal is, just to get a better feeling on it. It depends on the applicant too. Like Bill Buckley, he probably wouldn't, because he knows the system. And he knows the town and he knows our bylaws. But if you get a company out of town or that's not familiar with our bylaws, 100%, I believe they will probably come in and talk to me.
The billboard on Route 1 with Mr. Sivolinski, has he spoken to you since the email you sent?
Nope, he did say he's aware of it and he will be contacting me in the future.
So you expect at some point he'll apply to reconstruct that?
Correct, yes.
This is the billboard that's near where the McDonald's is.
Okay.
So apparently there's a change of ownership, but the new owner's consultant told them that the current billboard needs to be replaced. So,
Be cheaper to replace the billboard than sit there and renew the lease.
Is it electronic
So-
or static?
one side's electronic.
Okay.
Oh, one. Interesting.
But it's unlikely that he'll get in before next week, right?
No,
I doubt it.
I doubt it, yeah. I haven't heard from anybody, so. When was it, January 16th, January. I mean, it would have to go in on January 2nd and January 9th, so I could accept it up until, well, I'm not here the end of next week. Or I guess I could do it on the Monday, the 30th, if I had to get it into the paper.
Yeah. Well, possibly won't get anything then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see that forthcoming before the holidays,
So we'll have
but
the,
I could be wrong.
so it's a good chance we'll start the new year with nothing.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
Start the new year, right?
All right. Anything else? So before we adjourn, happy holidays to everybody. And let's hope
Holidays.
happy and healthy new year
You as well.
for everybody and
Indeed.
everybody concerned.
Indeed.
You too, thank
And
you.
I know Scott's been busy. I know have you started interviewing people, or?
Actually, we did hire somebody.
You did, okay.
They accepted the offer. She starts on January 6th.
So Scott will have a new administrative assistant, so.
Nice.
So motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Scott, take care.
Scott?
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Scott?
Happy holidays.